Here comes the 1-1 pitch. High and away for ball two. 2-1 the count. Two balls and one strike to the leadoff hitter, Hendrickson. Rowdle brings it. And a hot shot foul down the third base side. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Grace Hendrickson, a sophomore from Indianapolis, went to Cathedral High School. Julia Wagner waits on deck for the Tigers. Washington and Jefferson, thanks to 2 in the bottom half of the second, on top of the DePauw Tigers, 2-0. 2-2 pitch. Wow, got away from Rado again. That's not the first time it's happened in this game. Rado again has struck out 3, but there have been times where her pitches have gotten away from her. Full count on Hendrickson. Payoff pitch is coming. Ball 4. Hendrickson draws a leadoff walk. And that's the first walk surrendered by Rado this afternoon. Julia Wagner bats now for DePauw. And obviously her job is to sacrifice the runner over here. Wagner scored the bunt and took a strike. She's a freshman from Glen Ellen, Illinois. Went to Glenbard West High School. So the freshman trying to get the job done here in the top of the third. DePauw trails 2-0. She slaps it on the left side, and that's going to be a base hit. And the Tigers have the first 2 on board here in the top of the third. Wagner with a slap single on the left side of the infield. Hit number 3 for the Tigers. Hendrickson on second, Wagner on first. Top of the order, here's Sammy Bell. Sophomore from Columbia, Missouri, went to Rockbridge Senior High School. A threat for the Tigers here in the top of the third. Madison Rado in some trouble. Bell is offered, but it's called for a strike. She didn't lay the bunt down. 0-1 the count. Long look down for the sign. Bell back in the box. 0-1 the count. Runners on first and second. Nobody out. Strike 2. And Rado gets ahead 0-2. Her coach telling Sammy, calm down. Puts the palms extended down as if to say, all right. 0-2 the count. Rado deals. Bell takes it high for a ball. Wasted it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hendrickson, the runner, on second. Wagner's on first. Nobody out. Washington and Jefferson with a 2-0 lead, but DePauw threatening here in the top of the third. 1-2 the count on Bell, and here it comes. Low for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes, so Bell has worked the count back to even, 2-2. Tigers trying to build some momentum here. You get the feeling with this threat, if they don't score, it's going to be a big deflator. Here's the 2-2. And a pop-up behind the plate. Is there going to be a play? No. It's behind the backstop. The catcher, Abby Cunningham, ran out of real estate. So the count remains even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bell wearing a black number 28 on the back of that gold jersey. Now back in the box. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Madison Rado and the Presidents trying to get out of this third inning jam. And another foul. Ooh, good job there by Bell. That was a tremendous pitch by Rado. Took a lot off of it. And Bell did well just to make contact and stay alive. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Taylor Golden waits on deck for the Tigers. They trailed 2-0 here in the top of the third. Here comes another 2-2 pitch. And a ground ball to left field, a base hit. They will hold the runner at third. Hendrickson hits the stop sign, stays at third, and now the bases are loaded with Tigers, and there's nobody out. Bell comes through with a single to left field after she fell behind in the count 0-2. And that turned out to be a pretty good at-bat for Sammy Bell. So here's Taylor Golden with a golden opportunity, if you pardon the pun. Junior from Chicago, went to Trinity High School. Henriksen on third, Wagner on second, Bell on first. Golden grounded out to third, her first time up. The bases are loaded with Tigers here in the top of the third. DePauw trailing 2-0, but they got a big threat right now. Golden takes ball one. Tigers have now collected 4 hits. Trying to get that goose egg out of the R column on the scoreboard right now. They're down 2-0 here in the top of the third. 1 ball, no strikes on Golden. Rattle deals. Strike called. 1 ball, 1 strike. Golden now tying her left shoelace. So a brief pause in the action. 1 ball, 1 strike. Partly sunny skies, temperatures in the upper 60s. Beautiful afternoon here in Angola. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out, bases loaded, the pitch. Ball 2. Abby Cunningham had to get up out of her stance and reach up and grab that one. 2 balls and 1 strike. A chance for DePauw to score for the first time in 8 innings. They have not scored since the first inning of yesterday's game with Muskegum. Here comes the 2-1. And there's a drive in the left field. It's down for a hit. 1 run is in, and the throw back into the infield. The runner on second base, Wagner, was near the bag at second when the ball dropped. They had a chance to get her at third if that throw had gone into third base, but instead they threw it to the cutoff person, and that allowed Wagner to scamper into third base. Henriksen scores from the play. Everybody moves up a base. RBI single for Golden, and that cuts the Washington and Jefferson lead to 1. It's now 2-1. Jennifer Ridge bats with the bases loaded. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Ridge single to left, her first time up. So 4 straight have reached base for DePauw here in the top of the third. And they're still very dangerous. There's a strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. Wagner's on third. Bell is on second. Golden is on first. There's nobody out. 1 run in for the Tigers here in the top of the third. They trail now 2-1. Way up high. Again, it gets away from Rotto. And we're going to get a conference in the circle. And everybody be gathered in the circle for this one. Head coach Nicole Vitello out to trying to calm down her starting pitcher. 1 run in for the Tigers here in the top of the third, and they're still very much in business. Washington and Jefferson leading DePauw 2-1. Ridge the batter. Wagner the runner on third. Sammy Bell is on second. Taylor Golden is at first. Henriksen opened the inning with a walk. Scored in the RBI single by Golden. After the walk to Henriksen, 3 straight singles by Wagner, Bell, and Golden. Washington and Jefferson 2, DePauw 1 here in the top of the third. A chance for the Tigers to tie or even take the lead here in the top of the third inning. They got the heart of the lineup coming up now. That one's outside. Three balls and 1 strike on Ridge. Madison Rotto in a real jam. Swing and a miss. And that will make it a payoff pitch coming up now to Ridge. Rotto has struck out 3. She needs a strikeout right now with the bases loaded and nobody out. Payoff pitch is coming. Ground ball foul, so we'll do it all over again. Ridge just barely got a piece of that ball. Stays alive. Wagner on third. Bell on second. Golden on first. Nobody out. Ridge waits. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. Strike three. And strikeout number 4 for Madison Rottle. Big strikeout there. Now a double play can get the Presidents out of the inning. They do have a DP in their resume this afternoon. That happened in the last frame. Lindsey Button, the cleanup hitter, is up there now. She struck out her first time up from Baldwin, Missouri. Went to Lafayette High School, sophomore. The pitch is swung on and missed, strike 1. And Rottle gets ahead of Button, 0-1. 4 straight had reached before the strikeout on Ridge. Bases loaded with Tigers, now 1 out. Button waits in the 0-1. She bunts, the squeeze is on, and the throw home. She is out at home. Wagner tagged out of the plate. They tried the safety squeeze there. And the President's defense alert. Rottle making the play, flipping to Abby Cunningham, the catcher, who put the tag on Wagner for the second out of the inning. A fielder's choice. So Button reaches on a fielder's choice. Bell now on third. Golden on second. Button is on first. 2 outs. 1 run in for the Tigers. And we have conferences all over the place. The next batter is scheduled to be Gabby Smart. We may be having a substitution here. Let's see here. We have, we'll wait for the announcement from the public address man. We are going to have a change. Looks like we're going to get a pinch runner at first. Well, we're going to get a pinch hitter. Beth Shamowski will bat. So Shamowski will bat for Smart. Erica Hanrahan going to her bench in this critical situation. And it's a pop-up on the infield. And Washington and Jefferson's going to get out of this inning by surrendering only 1 run after the Paul had loaded the bases with nobody out. Tigers get a run, but that's it. Shamowski pops out to end the 3rd inning for the Tigers. So for DePauw in the top of the 3rd, out of all that, 1 run on a total of 3 hits. They leave the bases loaded. And DePauw is now stranded 4 in this game through the first 3 innings. After 2.5 innings, Washington and Jefferson still with the lead. It's Washington and Jefferson 2, DePauw 1. Just looking to see if Gabby Smart's going to re-enter the game in right field after she was pinch hit for in the top half of this frame. Due up for Washington and Jefferson in the bottom half of the 3rd, Watson, Abby Cunningham, and Rottle. What a job by Madison Rottle to get out of that jam in the top half of this frame. She did surrender a run, but the Tigers unable to put a crooked number up on the board after they had loaded the bases with nobody out. All they could get was 1, and that was an RBI single by Taylor Golden. After that, Rottle struck out Ridge. They got a runner at the plate on a squeeze attempt that did not work, and then Shamowski, the pinch hitter, popped out to end the frame. And Shamowski stays in the game in right field. So I don't know if there's something wrong with Gabby Smart, but Shamowski stays in the game and is playing right field for the Tigers. We move to the bottom half of the 3rd here in Angola. Washington and Jefferson leading DePauw 2-1. Emily Watson leads it off for the Presidents here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Presidents on top of the Tigers 2-1. And there's a smash. Nice backhand stab. Throw to first. Not in time, and it goes into the dugout. Nice backhand stab by Landahl, but her throw was inaccurate. It goes into the Tiger dugout. And so Watson will probably get a hit on that play and be awarded second on a throwing error. There's our first error of the afternoon. Abby Cunningham bats now with a runner on second and nobody out. Cunningham lined out the first, her first time up. Washington and Jefferson with two in the bottom half of the second. DePauw got one back in the top of the third, but left the bases loaded. There's a bunt, and it's a good one. And one play, and out at first. They turned that one into an adventure there, as Golden, the third baseman, had thoughts of trying to nail Watson at third, but thought better of it and got the sure out at first, and it was close at first. Cunningham's sacrifice is successful. One out. Madison Rottle, the starting pitcher today for Washington and Jefferson, up there now. She singled and scored her first time up. 2-1 favor Washington and Jefferson here in the bottom half of the third. First pitch is a ball, 1-0. Emily Watson at third base with one out. Reached on a single, went to second on an error, and was sacrificed to third. Now the pitch. It's inside, says the home plate umpire. Kim Johnson says it's ball two. 2-0 the count. Here's Kayla Nolan dealing the 2-0. Ball three. 3-0 the count. Jen Baum waits on deck. Winner plays Trine this afternoon at 4 o'clock. The loser is eliminated. This is an elimination game in this double elimination tournament. There's a strike. DePauw in recent years have hosted regional tournaments in women's softball. But they're on the road for this year's tourney. And that's called a strike. So Nolan fighting back after falling behind her pitching counterpart. Runner on third, one out. Ball four. Rottle draws a one-out walk. So now first and third for the Presidents and one out. Jen Baum popped out to the first baseman her first time up. She bats with one out here in the bottom half of the third. Runners on first and third. Washington and Jefferson leading DePauw 2-1 in this NCAA Women's Softball Division III regional contest. There's a drive down the right field line. Shimowski giving chase, and it is a foul ball. Well, Baum came close to maybe getting two up on the board for her team there. Just foul down the right field line. Shimowski made a heck of an effort over there trying to make a catch. But that's one of those situations with the runner on third. The right fielder may be better off just letting that ball land in foul territory with less than two outs. That's a ball, one strike on Baum. Brianna Gleason waits on deck. The Presidents of Washington and Jefferson leading 2-1 here in the bottom half of the third. Ball two, 2 balls and 1 strike. Baum ahead of the pitcher, 2 balls and 1 strike. And here it comes. That's ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike on Baum. She is a junior from Pittsburgh. Went to Mount Lebanon High School in the Steel City. Three balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch by Nolan. A ground ball, base hit, center field, a run will score. So Jen Baum delivers a one-out single to center field, a clean single driving in Watson. Rottle goes to second, and the Presidents of Washington and Jefferson back on top by 2. They get the run back that DePauw scored in the top half of this frame. Presidents leading by 2 again, 3-1 favor Washington and Jefferson. And they're still very much in business here in the bottom half of the third. Brianna Gleason singled and scored her first time up. First and second for the Presidents, one out. Gleason, check swing. And that's a strike, 0-1. Watson opened the inning with a single, moved to second on an error, was sacrificed to third. Rotto walked, and Baum delivers an RBI single to put Washington and Jefferson back on top by 2. And that is strike 2 called on the inside corner, 0-2 on Gleason. DeGurl waits on deck. DePauw loaded the bases in the top of this inning with nobody out and could only get 1 run. That's inside. Gleason had to bend out of the way of that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Presidents have 6 hits in this game. The 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Gleason goes down on strikes. That's the first strikeout for Nolan this afternoon. Morgan Figueroa fouled out to second base. Fouled out to the second baseman her first time up. Still first and second for the Presidents, now with 2 outs. And a little pop fly and a shoestring catch by the shortstop. Nice play by Ridge to end the inning. So that's all for the Presidents in the last half of the third. They get 1 run on 2 hits, and they strand 2. The Presidents have now left 6 runners on base in the first 3 innings. And after 3, it's Washington and Jefferson 3, DePauw 1. As we move to the top of the 4th, Tigers will send up their 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Landau, Krumwiede, and Hendrickson. We've had a lot of offense here in the first 3 innings. 3 runs on 6 hits for the Presidents of Washington and Jefferson. They have stranded 6 runners. DePauw has collected 5 hits, but just 1 run. Tigers have left 4 on the bases. Again, the winner of this game will move on to face the host Trine Thunder in a 4 o'clock Eastern game this afternoon. The loser will be eliminated. Muskegum in a pretty good spot right now. They're done for today since they beat Trine this morning 5-4. The Muskies jumping out to a 5-0 lead. Trine came back and made things very interesting in the 7th inning. They scored 4 in that frame. They had the tying run on second with 1 out, but just could not get it across. And so Trine, the number 1 seed in this region, will have to come through the loser's bracket. They await the winner of this game, and that game at 4 o'clock will also be an elimination game. Muskegum right now is in the catbird seat of this tournament. They won't play again until noon tomorrow. And if necessary, there'll be a game at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon as well in the championship round. The winner of this regional moves on to the Super Regionals next week. And the Super Regional winners will move on to the NCAA Division III Women's Softball National Finals in Tyler, Texas, May 22nd through the 27th. All right, here's Megan Landau leading things off for the DePauw Tigers in the top of the 4th, and she fouls the first pitch back for strike 1. Megan singled to right center her first time up, 1 of 5 hits in this game for the Tigers. Madison Rotto deals the pitch inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Rotto and the Presidents got out of a big-time jam last inning with no significant damage. Here's the 1-1. And a hot shot in the center field, a base hit. So Landau has her second hit in this game, a sharp, clean single to center field. Lauren Krumwiede bats now for the Tigers. She hit into a double play in the 2nd inning. Outstanding play by second baseman Jen Baum for Washington and Jefferson. Down 2, let's see if Krumwiede is bunting here. She is showing bunt and takes the ball, 1-0 the count. Washington and Jefferson leading DePauw 3-1 here in the top of the 4th inning. Grace Hendrickson, the next scheduled hitter. The 1-0. That's low for ball 2. Runner goes for second, and now she's in a pickle. Landahl is tagged out. So Landahl is erased from the bases. Again, DePauw getting a runner on base, but they can't do much with it. Comriti took the pitch for ball 2. Landahl breaking for second, and she was a dead duck. She tried to reverse her course, but was eventually run down for the out. Ball 3 now in Comriti. So more air taken out of the balloon for DePauw. They just have to fight back now after that particular play. The 3-0. There's a strike as Krumwiede was taking all the way. 3 balls and 1 strike now on the Tigers center fielder. 1 out, nobody on base for the Tigers. They're in the top of the 4th. Foul back to the screen, and it's a full count now, 3-2. Washington and Jefferson scored 2 in the second, 1 in the third. Tigers got 1 in the third. But that run came after they had loaded the bases with nobody out, and that was all they were going to get. There's ball 4. Krumwiede gets a walk. And that's the second walk issued by Madison Rottle. So here's Grace Henriksen. She walked and scored last inning. Krumwiede, the runner on first with 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Washington and Jefferson on top of DePauw, 3-1. DePauw not executing in the small ball game a few moments ago. As Megan Landahl, the base runner, erased. I don't know if there was a mix-up in communications there or if somebody missed a sign. But bottom line, DePauw had their leadoff hitter who was on base erased. Henriksen waits. And a swing and a miss. And it's Rottle who can really pull that string, delivered that strike, and had Henriksen off balance. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. A runner on first in the top of the 4th for the DePauw Tigers from Greencastle, Indiana. Whoa, look out. Now that's a wild pitch. Krumwiede goes to second. As Bob Euchre might have said, just a little bit high. That's happened a few times to Rottle in this game where I don't know if she's not gripping the ball right or if it slips out of her hand, but that's about 4 or 5 times now where the catcher, Abby Cunningham, has had to come out of her stance. Hot shot on the left side. Shortstop can't make the play. Krumwiede's coming home to score. And it's now 3-2. Henriksen coming through. They scored that an error on the shortstop. Kelsey Cunningham charged with the error as she could not come up with the backhand pickup. Krumwiede scores on the play. That cuts the Washington and Jefferson lead to 3-2. No RBI for Henriksen. Julia Wagner bats now. She takes the first pitch for a ball as the sun ducks behind the clouds for a brief time. Wagner singled, was later erased at home plate. And she runs up, slaps the ball. The pitcher fields. Rottle throws to first, gets the sure out there. Henriksen moves to second. 1-3 on the putout, 2 outs now. The Tigers have the tying run in scoring position. Top of the order, here's Sammy Bell, who singled her last time up. She's 1 for 2. Henriksen on second, 2 outs. And the Washington and Jefferson lead is now back to 1 again. 3-2 favor the Presidents in the top of the 4th inning. And Sammy Bell, whose name is being chanted by her teammates in the first base dugout, takes the first pitch for ball 1 outside. Bell with a chance to tie the game here in the top of the 4th. Next pitch is a ball for 2 balls and no strikes. Well, the 3 games played thus far, 2 have been decided by 1 run. That's in the dirt. And Bell way ahead of the pitcher. First base is open. If the pitcher, Rottle, wants to pitch around Sammy Bell here. Madison Rottle with a record of 7-5 entering today's game. Ball 4, and Bell draws a 2-out walk. That's the third walk issued by Rottle. 2 in this inning. Taylor Gordon bats now. Golden had a RBI single her last time up. 1 for 2. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. So if you pardon the pun, once again a golden opportunity for DePauw. Sorry, I could not resist. 3-2, Washington and Jefferson leading here in the top of the fourth, but there are 2 outs, and DePauw threatening to tie or take the lead here. And now we're going to have a substitution. We have Hendrickson at second base, Bell the runner on first, and we're going to get a pinch runner for Hendrickson. And the runner at second base is Morgan Pygish. She wears number 99. 99? Morgan is a sophomore from Frankfort, Illinois. Went to Lincoln Way East High School. So, she carries the tying run at second base. Golden, the hitter for DePauw. And she takes a strike, 0-1. Madison Rottle in another jam. She got out of the jam last inning with very little damage. Tigers loaded the bases with nobody out and could only score 1 run. Here they already have a run in the top of the fourth, first and second with 2 outs. And there's a drive in the left field. It's going to be a base hit. They're going to wave the runner home. The throw home to the plate is not in time. The pitch runner, Pygish, gets in. And we are tied at 3. Taylor Golden comes through with an RBI single to left. And on the throw home, Bell and Golden move up a base. So now second and third with 2 outs. And we're going to have a discussion now. The 3 umpires are going to get together. We're going to have a conference in the circle amongst the presidents. What this discussion is all about amongst the umpires, I can't tell you because I'm out here behind the left center field fence and the umpires are about 200 feet away from me. But there was an issue brought up by the president's head coach, Nicole Vitello. And whatever the issue is has been settled. It will not go in favor of Washington and Jefferson. And we are tied 3-3. Second and third for DePauw. And they threaten to take the lead now. They have their number 3 hitter, Jennifer Ridge, up there. She's 1 for 2 in this game, singled in the first inning. Rottle deals. Ball 1, first base is open if she wants to deal with Lindsey Button, but it's kind of pick your poison here. Ridge, the number 3 hitter. Button, the cleanup hitter. Bell's on third. Golden's on second. Ground ball on the left side. Tough play. Runner's going to score, and everybody's safe. No chance for the shortstop, Cunningham, to make any kind of play as that ball was deep in the hole. Bell scores, and the Tigers have the lead. 4-3, favor DePauw. And it looks like we're going to get a pitching change here in the top of the fourth inning. RBI single for Jennifer Ridge, her second hit of the afternoon. And that'll be all for starter Madison Rottle. We'll have a new pitcher for the presidents of Washington and Jefferson. And a new pitcher is Krista McCartney. She wears number 15. And let's get some information on her. She is a sophomore from Salem, Ohio, went to United Local High School. Trying to look up some statistics here for Krista here where we have a break in the action. DePauw has scored 3 here in the top of the 4th inning. They take a 4-3 lead over the Presidents of Washington and Jefferson. If DePauw goes on to win this game, we'll have an Indiana matchup in the 4 o'clock Eastern contest as the Trine Thunder await the winner of this game. McCartney, with an ERA of 2.29, has a 12-3 record entering this tournament. Started 13 games this season, completed 7. This will be her 25th appearance of the year. 63 strikeouts in just over 100 innings of work. All right, we're set to resume now. The DePauw Tigers have pushed 3 across here in the top of the 4th to grab a 4-3 lead. And they're not done yet. Golden is on 3rd. Ridge is on 1st. Lindsey Button now pitching. Four to 3 Tigers in the top of the 4th. We've had a lot of offense in this game. The first pitch is a strike, thrown to 3rd. Not in time, and the runner from 1st, Ridge, easily steals 2nd. So Ridge trying to draw a throw, and if that had happened, Golden would have had a chance to break for the plate. Abby Cunningham threw down the 3rd to make sure that runners stayed there. There's a base hit to left. 1 run is home. Here comes another runner. No, they're going to hold her up, and the throw goes home. That allows Button to move down to second base. So alert base running there by Lindsey Button. She gets an RBI single. Golden scores the 4th run of the inning for DePauw. Ridge started to come home, but then threw out the anchor as she rounded 3rd and stopped. The left fielder for Washington and Jefferson threw home, and that allowed Button to move to second base. There's a foul ball. Big inning for the Tigers here in the top of the 4th. They could not cash in on a big frame last inning when they had the bases loaded and nobody out. They just got a run, but here in the 4th, the Tigers have batted around, and they have played at 4. Shimowski hits a foul for strike 2. Shimowski came on in last inning, batted for Gabby Smart, who started in right field. We have not seen Smart return, so we don't know what's wrong with Gabby, but Shimowski now batting with 2 strikes on her, and runners on 2nd and 3rd. And there's strike 3 to end the inning, and a big inning for the DePauw Tigers. They do a lot of damage. They get 4 runs on 4 hits. There was an error, and 2 runners left in scoring position. A lot of offense here in this elimination game. We played 3.5 innings. The score now, DePauw 5 and Washington and Jefferson 3. Presidents will have the top part of their order due up in the bottom half of the 4th. Cunningham, Roperty, and Merrick. So the DePauw Tigers with a record of 26-19 entering this game. 2-5 on neutral fields, by the way. And they have a 5-3 lead. Again, it's going to be Kelsey Cunningham, Courtney Roperty, and Sadie Merrick coming up for the Presidents here in the bottom half of the 4th. DePauw with their first lead of the game. They're on top now, 5-3 as we move to the bottom half of the 4th. Winner gets the Trine Thunder in a 4 o'clock Eastern game this afternoon, and that may be starting a few minutes late the way this one is going. This is turning into a rather long affair. Normally, women's softball, only games on average run about an hour and a half, maybe an hour 45 minutes. We started at 1:30 Eastern. We're approaching 2:45 now. We're just in the bottom half of the 4th inning. So a rather leisurely pace to this one with all the offense. Here's Kelsey Cunningham. She's reached base twice today for the Presidents. Doubled down the right field line in her first at-bat and walked her last time up. And she takes the first pitch in for a strike from Nolan. Kayla Nolan now pitching with the lead. 5-3 favor the Tigers here in the bottom half of the fourth. Cunningham shoots it foul on the third base side. No balls and 2 strikes. Roperty and Merrick the follow here in the bottom half of the third inning for the Presidents of Washington and Jefferson. Loser goes home. Winner plays Trine at 4 this afternoon. And the winner of that game at 4 will face Muskingum in the regional finals. And thank you. We're getting some water. Appreciate it. It's been a long game already. It's not over yet. There's a ball. Partly sunny skies here in Angola right now. Game time temperature was 66 degrees. Very, very comfortable afternoon. Pop fly and an easy play for Nolan for out number 1. Yesterday was so windy, and you science majors can appreciate this. It was so windy yesterday. How windy was it? It was so windy our bottled water got blown over a couple of times, and it was filled. I mean, that wind yesterday was going about 25 miles an hour, gusting to 30. That's how strong it was. 1 out, nobody on base. Roperty, the batter. Courtney takes the first pitch for a ball. She has popped out and has a 2-run single in this game. So she's 1 for 2. And they say she was hit. Oh, no, wait a minute. Nope. Not so fast, my friend, as Lee Corsa would say. Roperty's still up there at the plate. Again, we're out here in the outfield, so sometimes we're not quite sure what the umpires are calling. A little bit tough to judge from 200 feet away. There's a ball outside. 5-3, DePauw leading Washington and Jefferson here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. DePauw, the visiting team for this game. There's a strike. Kayla Nolan has gone the distance for the Tigers, and she is pitching with the lead for the first time in this game. Jam shot, foul back on the screen. Nolan in the circle today for the DePauw Tigers. She went the distance in yesterday's game. She is a workhorse, as we talked about yesterday and earlier today. Over 240 innings logged for her this season. There's a pop-up, and it's going to be out of play over by the batting cage on the third base side near the press box. One out, nobody on base here in the last half of the fourth. 5-3 DePauw over Washington and Jefferson. That's high for a ball, and a one-out walk issued to Roperty. So that's her second time on base today. Sadie Merrick bats now for the Presidents. She's a junior from Butler, Pennsylvania, went to Butler High School. One out here in the last half of the fourth for Washington and Jefferson. Merrick takes one low, ball 1. 1-0 the count. Nolan wears number 1. She's a junior from West Chicago, Illinois. Went to Wheaton North High School. And there's a foul at the plate. The ball hitting Merrick in the batter's box. Roperty on first. Merrick now represents the tying run at the plate. DePauw leading Washington and Jefferson 5-3 here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. NCAA Division III Regional Women's Softball elimination game here in Angola, Indiana. There's a strike called. Trine University hosting a regional women's softball tournament for the second straight year. Different format to the national tournament this year. Last year we had 8 teams in regionals, which stretched the regional out to like 5 days maximum. There's a ball. This year, the NCAA adding a super regional round, just like in the baseball tournament. All the regional winners this weekend advance to the super regionals next weekend. There's a high fly ball, foul out of play, third base side. Over towards the baseball diamond and onto the baseball diamond, which is right next door. Shannon Field here at Trident University. Here's the pitch. And another foul. So a real battle going on right now. The baseball field, as I said, Shannon Field, just over the third base fence, not too far from here. The football field, Zauner Stadium, further down the way. Beautiful facility. Brand new press box, built a few years ago. Now the pitch. That's high for a ball. Of course, when you talk football at DePauw, you talk about the game every year for the Bell, DePauw and Wabash. But we'll talk about that in November more. There's a drive in the right center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. And it'll be first and second for the Presidents. They come right back after surrendering a fourth spot in the top half of this inning. Merrick with a bloop single to right center, her first hit of the afternoon. And hit number 7 for the Presidents. DePauw has 9 hits in this game, so 16 hits total. And we're only in the bottom half of the fourth inning. 5-3 DePauw. Emily Watson, I got a feeling we've not seen the last of the scoring in this game. So here's Watson. She singled and scored her last time up. And Emily fouls it back for strike 1. Roperty is on second. Merrick is on first. The sun has gone behind the clouds for a brief time here. There's a foul out of play, third base side. And Nolan gets ahead of Watson, 0-2. DePauw with 1 in the third and 4 in the fourth. Washington and Jefferson with 2 in the second and 1 in the third. And apparently we're out of game balls, so we gotta get some people chasing after those foul balls. That's why we have the delay here. Well, that next game was scheduled to start at 4, but the way this one is going, I don't think we're going to be starting at 4. This continues to move at a rather glacial pace with all the hitting. 0-2 the count on Watson. Outside, 1-2. But you know, it's a beautiful day, so you really don't mind. Now, if it was 40 degrees and a wind going at 25 miles an hour with a wind chill in the mid-teens like we had to put up with last year, then you would mind. Here's the pitch. 2-2. Weather has been terrific today. Partly sunny skies, temperatures in the upper 60s. A very comfortable day. And there's a slap. That's going to be a tough play. Nolan throws the first. Close and safe at first. She beat it out. Watson beats it out. And now the bases are loaded with Presidents with only 1 out. Nolan did a nice job coming out of the circle. Made a good throw to first. But Watson, in a bang-bang play at first, beat it out. Roperty's on third. Merrick's on second. Watson's on first. Abby Cunningham sacrificed her last time up. Line to first, her first time up. She's 0 for 1 officially, but she has hit the ball hard in that one rather noisy out back in the first. So back come the Presidents. They've got a chance to tie or retake the lead here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. The infield is in. Nolan and the DePauw Tigers in a real pickle. Strike 1. Cunningham didn't like it, let it go. 0-1 the count. 5-3 DePauw here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. 1 strike on Cunningham. High, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. After Cunningham popped out to start the inning, Kelsey Cunningham that is, Roperty walked. Merrick singled. Watson singled. There's ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike on Cunningham. He's got a chance to tie this game for her team. The 2-1. Ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike on Abby Cunningham. Freshman from McMurray, Pennsylvania. 1 more bat, 1 forces in a run. 3 balls, 1 strike. Hot shot, foul on the third base side, so we'll go to a full count. And the Presidents would like to see Cunningham straighten that one out. Washington and Jefferson Presidents from Washington, Pennsylvania, battling the DePauw Tigers from Greencastle, Indiana. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Abby Cunningham. Nolan will be delivering a payoff pitch here. And here it is. Foul at the plate. Ooh, that got a piece of Cunningham, and she is hurting right now, trying to walk it off. What's it like when you hit a foul ball off your foot? Take a hammer and pound your foot. That's how it feels. Well, we don't recommend it at home, kids, but that's how it feels. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, bases loaded. Nolan will deal another payoff pitch. Here it is. There's a drive. Look out. Hit the press box, and they're awake up there now. Count stays. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Roperdy's on third. Merrick's on second. Watson's on first. 1 out here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. DePauw 5, Washington and Jefferson 3. In this elimination game, NCAA Women's Softball Division III Regional Contest. Payoff pitch. There's a drive to right center. That's a mess of trouble. It's down and all the way to the fence. 1 run is home. 2 runs are home. And it's tied 5-5. Roberty and Merrick scoring on a 2-run double by Abby Cunningham, who drilled into the gap in right center. Watson is on third, Abby Cunningham on second. 5-5 tie. Still only 1 out. 5-5 tie here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Nolan deals. Strike 1. Krista McCarty bats. Oh, I'm sorry, Roddle's batting. So she must have re-entered. She was relieved as the pitcher in the top half of the inning. Roddle batting. There's a swing and a miss. So Roddle batting, she walked her last time up, singled in the second, and later scored. Roddle takes it high for a ball. First base is open. After the first batter in this inning popped out, 4 straight Presidents have reached base, and they have scored 2 to tie the game at 5 here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. There's another ball. Nolan's struggling right now. But again, she is his team's workhorse in the circle. Over 240 innings pitched this season. Swing and a miss. Big strike there. And a big strikeout. Roddle goes down on strikes. Now 2 outs and runners on second and third. But the Tigers are not out of the woods yet. Here's Jen Baum. She had an RBI single her last time up. Popped the first and the second, so she's 1 for 2. Check swing. Does she go? Did she go? And they appeal, and they say strike 1. So Baum falls behind 0-1. Watson is on third. Cunningham is on second. 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 4th. 5-5 tie. Nolan deals. And Baum pops it up. Is that playable? It is for the third baseman, Golden. And there's the final out of the inning. We got a wild one going here in Angola now. 2 runs for Washington and Jefferson in the bottom half of the 4th inning. They get 3 hits, and 2 runners are left. And we got 5s all over the place up there on the board. 5-5 tie, DePauw and Washington and Jefferson as we move to the Top of the fifth inning here in Angola, Indiana. And this has turned into a wild and woolly elimination game. Just like a couple of boxers just slugging away. DePauw has 9 hits in this game. And now Washington and Jefferson have 9 hits. So 5 runs on 9 hits for both teams. And both teams have left a lot of runners stranded on base. Washington and Jefferson stranded 2. They're in the 4th inning. They stranded 2 in the 3rd. Left 2 runners on board in the 2nd. And left 2 on in the 1st inning. So they have stranded, if my first grade math is right, they've stranded 8 runners in the first 4 innings. DePauw, well, let's see, in the 1st inning, they had 1 runner left. Nobody left in the 2nd. Left the bases loaded in the 3rd. And 2nd and 3rd in the 4th. So they have left 6 on the sacks. 5 runs on 9 hits. 6 left for DePauw. 5 runs on 9 hits and 8 left for Washington and Jefferson. As we move to the top of the 5th inning, we've had a lot of offense in this game. Landau, Crumweedy, and Hendrickson. 6, 7, and 8 hitters due up for the Tigers here in the top of the 5th inning. 5-5 tie as we move to the top of the 5th. Landau steps in now. She's 2 for 2 in this game. McCarty is now the pitcher of record for Washington and Jefferson. Ronald's been taken off the hook thanks to that 2-run rally by her team in the bottom half of the 4th. Landau waits, and there's a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. So it's a brand new ball game now. 5-5 tie here in the top of the 5th. That's ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Washington and Jefferson took a 2-0 lead in the bottom half of the 2nd. DePauw got 1 in the top of the 3rd. President's got that run back in the bottom half of the 3rd to take a 3-1 lead. Landau takes a strike. Tigers erupted for 4 in the top of the 4th to take a 5-3 lead. Presidents responded with 2 in the bottom half of the 4th, and that's where we stand right now. 5-5 tie. The top of the 5th inning. There's a ground ball. Nice diving stop by Baum, but safe at first is Landau. Wow, Baum almost turned in another defensive gem. She had one earlier on a double play. Made a diving stop at second. On her stomach, flipped to first base, but Landau is safe, and that's her 3rd hit in this game. Crumweedy bats now. She walked and scored her last time up. Hit into a double play on that sensational defensive play by Baum in the 2nd inning. Offered a bunt, did not lay it down, ball 1. So it's obvious what Crumweedy wants to do here is sacrifice Landau over the 2nd, get her in the scoring position with less than 2 outs. Game tied 5-5, top of the 5th. There's the bunt, it's foul. 1 ball, 1 strike on Crumweedy. Winner plays Trine in the next game. So this, after a long game, the winner will have to come back and almost immediately have to play Trine in the next game. Foul back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Meanwhile, the Thunder's sitting off on the side, and they're thinking to themselves right now, yeah, go ahead and kill each other. Muskegon is really in the catbird seat right now. They won their game this morning over Trine 5-4, and they're back at the hotel resting. Or one would assume they're resting. Ground ball up the middle. That's a base hit. And the Tigers come roaring back here in the top of the 5th inning. Crumweedy with a single in the center field. Back-to-back singles to start the 5th for DePauw. They now have 11 hits in this game. And Grace Hendrickson was the scheduled hitter, but we got another batter up there. There's a bunt foul. Strike 1. That's the pinch runner who came in to score earlier. One strike on Morgan Pigish. She wears number 99. And there's a strike, 0-2 the count. So right now she is the DP in this game. 2 strikes on Pigish. There's a ball, 1-2 the count. Landau is on second. Crumweedy is on first. Nobody out. Top of the 5th inning. Game tied 5-5. The 1-2. Ground ball on the right side. One play, first base. Runners move up. So they get the out at first, but Pigish did her job. 1 out. Julie Wagner bats now with the go-ahead runs in scoring position here in the top of the 5th inning. And we're going to get some more maneuvering here. Let's see what Coach Hanrahan's going to do here now. She's talking with the home plate umpire Johnson. Erica Hanrahan making a change, and we're going to get a pinch hitter here for the Tigers. Sarkeesian, Andy Sarkeesian now stepping to the dish. So she'll bat for Wagner. Coach Hanrahan going into her bench here, trying to get a big hit. So here's Andy Sarkeesian batting with runners on second and third and 1 out for the Tigers. Game tied 5-5 in the top of the 5th. First pitch to Sarkeesian, a swing and a miss for strike 1. Sarkeesian batting .250 this year. Has 4 RBIs. Chance to deliver a couple of big ones right now for DePauw. The 0-1. That's high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Sarkeesian is a freshman from Valparaiso. So a clutch situation here for the freshman. There's a ball outside. Sarkeesian with a good eye there. 2 balls and 1 strike. Top of the order is Sammy Bell, waits on deck. Game tied 5-5, top of the 5th. The pitch. There's a catch by the third baseman, and they get a double play. 5-4 on the DP, and the inning is over. As Crumweedy wandered too far off the bag there, and she was doubled off. And the Tigers are turned away. After they had runners on second and third with 1 out, they do not score. No runs, 2 hits, and 1 runner left. We move to the bottom half of the 5th inning. We're tied 5-5. Tigers are now stranded 7 runners in this game. Washington and Jefferson have stranded 8. And due up for the Presidents in the bottom half of the 5th inning, Gleason, Figura, and Kelsey Cunningham. So the Presidents of Washington and Jefferson getting out of that rather tight spot there in the top of the 5th. DePauw with a great chance to take the lead, but they get a double play ball to end the threat. As the runner was doubled off at second base, Crumweedy wandering a little bit too far off the bag there, and she was easy pickings to wrap up that double play. Again, to recap, DePauw lost the opening game of this regional 2-1. Washington and Jefferson then lost to Trine yesterday 7-1. And then this morning, Muskegum defeated Trine 5-4. As the Muskies had to hold on for dear life to defeat the Thunder in that game. Thunder rallied for 4 in the top of the 7th, had the tying run on second, but could not get that tying run across. All right, here we go, bottom half of the 5th. 5-5 tie. Brianna Gleason steps in for the Presidents. She's 1 for 2 in this game. Singled and scored in the second, struck out swinging in the third. First pitch from Nolan is a strike. Kaylin Nolan still in the circle for DePauw. Now the 0-1. There's a ball, 1 strike. DePauw had a great chance to take the lead in the top of the 5th. Second and third, 1 out, but could not score. Now the pitch. There's a bunt. Third baseman Golden throws, and they get the out at first. Button taking the throw at first base. And what a throw by Golden. That was a laser. And Gleason is out 5-3. Morgan Fagura bats now. Fagura, the batter, with 1 out and nobody on base. Foul ball, strike 1. Morgan hit .274 this year. No homers, 7 RBIs. Started 27 games for Washington and Jefferson. They bring a record of 25-11 into this contest. And a pop fly in the infield. That's going to be a much easier play for the Tigers. Button squeezes it for out number 2. Could we get a 1-2-3 inning here? 2 outs and nobody on. Here's Kelsey Cunningham. Presidents have had runners on base in every inning. Nolan trying to get her first 1-2-3 inning of this game. Trying to get her team back into the dugout. 2 outs and nobody on for the Presidents. Kelsey Cunningham takes a strike. She's 1 for 2 in this game. Has a double, a walk, and a pop out. 2 outs and nobody on base. Here in the last half of the 5th inning, 1 ball, 1 strike. We're in Angola, Indiana, on a partly sunny, beautiful May afternoon. Game time temperature was 66. Weatherman was calling for a high today around 72 in Angola. There's a smash foul. But tomorrow for Mother's Day, there is showers and maybe a thunderstorm in the forecast, but it's going to be mild tomorrow with highs well into the 70s. Just over a week ago, we were shivering during the MIAA conference tournament here at Trine. We had temperatures in the upper 40s a couple of days, and it was just a miserable 2 days for weather. Cold, rain, clouds, wind. It was not very spring-like, but no problems today, although the wind is picking up now, as you can probably hear. The wind is blowing out towards center field. Unlike yesterday when the wind was blowing in from the outfield. There's a ball. 2 outs and nobody on base. They're in the bottom half of the 5th. Game tied 5-5. This is an elimination game. The loser goes home. The winner plays Trine later on this afternoon in a game that's scheduled to start at 4, but will probably start a few minutes late now with the length of this game. There's a foul ball on the first base side out of play. And one of our younger fans is going after it over there. So Cunningham battling Nolan right now, staying alive, spoiling some pitches. And another foul. We're running out of balls again. That one hit the foul pole on the baseball diamond, hit the right field foul pole. Baseball diamond again just on the other side of the third base fence here at Trine University. There's a hot shot to third. Golden, nice play, throws across in time. So third baseman Taylor Golden with a couple of Golden plays right there. She lived up to her last name defensively that inning for DePauw. And folks, we got a 1-2-3 inning, finally. Nothing across for Washington and Jefferson in the bottom half of the 5th. We moved to the top of the 6th inning in Angola. We remain tied. DePauw 5, Washington and Jefferson 5. Top of the order for the DePauw Tigers coming up in the Top of the sixth inning, it'll be Bell, Golden, and Ridge. McCarty back into the circle for Washington and Jefferson. Again, her record this year was 12-3 with an ERA of 2.29. As a team, the President's pitching staff had an outstanding year with an ERA of 2.54. They compiled a record of 25-11. In 234 innings in the circle, the pitchers for the Presidents had 151 strikeouts and allowed just 99 walks. And they just allowed 85 earned runs for the entire season. That's 35 games. That's pretty good pitching. Kept the ball in the park as well. They only surrendered 9 home runs all season long, but they gave up 3 yesterday in the loss to Trine. When the Thunder won that game 7-1, Carly Searles for the Thunder had 2 home runs in that game for Trine University. Trine lost this morning to Muskingum 5-4. So the Thunder knocked into the losers bracket. They await the winner of this game. As we move to the top of the 6th inning, DePauw and Washington and Jefferson tied at 5. Leadoff hitter Sammy Bell up there. She walked and scored her last time up. It's 1 for 2 in this game with a single and a strikeout. McCarty's pitch is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Bell. 5-5 tie, top of the 6th inning. Once again, DePauw, the visiting team for this game. And Bell smashes it foul. That was an absolute rope, but she pulled it foul down the left field line. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Bell. McCarty steps up on the slab. Now delivers. And a ground ball, that's going to be bobbled by the first baseman, and there's going to be a safe call at first base. Figueroa bobbled the ball. The second baseman picked the ball up, bomb, and now the umpires are going to talk it over. First base umpire said safe. Now there's going to be no discussion. Well, yes, there will be a discussion. The Washington and Jefferson faithful thought that Baum tagged the ball, or tagged the bag with the ball before Bell reached first. And now the 3 of them, the 3 members of the Blue, will get together, and now they say out! Well, that turned into a wacky play, and there is no argument from the DePauw side. From here, it looked like Baum had tagged the bag with the ball, and it looked like from here Bell was out. So, oh my. Those things tend to happen in the postseason, don't they? So the putout goes 3-4. 1 out, nobody on base. Taylor Golden bats now. Ball 1. What a wacky play that was. A hot shot that Figueroa couldn't handle. Baum picked it up, tagged the bag with the ball. Initially, Bell was ruled safe, but then the umpires got together and called Bell out. Well, bottom line, there's 1 out and nobody on base, and we're still tied 5-5 here in the top of the 6th inning. Again, with that wind blowing out, the outfield playing deep against Golden. 1 out, nobody on base. McCarty deals. There's a ground ball to short. Scooped up by the shortstop Kelsey Cunningham. She throws on the first in time, and 2 gone for the Tigers here in the top of the 6th. Jennifer Ridge bats now. 2 outs and nobody on base. In the Muskingum victory this morning, Kaylee Bavard had 2 RBIs, also scored twice, had a couple of hits. Trying out-hit Muskingum 10-7, but lost 5-4. As Trine left 7 runners on base, Muskingum only stranded 2. Palangari had a home run for Muskego in that game as well. She was the DH in that contest. 2 outs and nobody on base here in the top of the 6th in this elimination game. Game tied 5-5 here in the top of the 6th inning. Jennifer Ridge batting. She had an RBI single her last time up, a ground ball to short. Fielded by Cunningham. The throw is in time, and the Tigers go down 1-2-3 in the top of the 6th inning. Nothing doing for the Tigers in the top of the 6th. We have played 5.5 here in Angola, Indiana, in this NCAA Division III women's softball regional game. It's an elimination game. The DePauw Tigers 5 and the Presidents of Washington and Jefferson 5. Due up for the Presidents in the bottom half of the 6th. It'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters to face Kayla Nolan, who is still in the circle for the DePauw Tigers. 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up for Washington and Jefferson. It'll be Roper D, followed by Merrick and Watson. For those of you just logging on, it has been a wild and wacky one here between DePauw and Washington and Jefferson. Presidents grabbed a 2-0 lead in the bottom half of the 2nd. Each team scored a run in the 3rd. DePauw got 4 in the top of the 4th to take a 5-3 lead. Presidents tied the game with 2 in the bottom half of the 4th. DePauw had a great chance to take the lead in the top of the 5th, 2nd and 3rd with 1 out, couldn't score. And both teams have gone down 1-2-3 here. Presidents retired in order in the bottom half of the 5th. Tigers retired in order in the top of the 6th. So we move to the bottom half of the 6th inning, and the leadoff hitter, Roper D, hits a hard ground ball to second. A bad throw, and Roper D is safe. An error by the second baseman, Landahl, on a routine ground ball. And let's see now if the Presidents can make the Tigers pay for that. So Roper D on first. She carries the go-ahead run. Sadie Merrick bats, and obviously she'll be up there trying to sacrifice her teammate Roper D down the 2nd. Merrick has popped to short, fouled to first, singled and scored. She's 1 for 3. There's a bunt. It's a good one. One play, first base. The out recorded there, and Roper D moves to 2nd. So Merrick did her job, sacrificing the runner over the second base. 1 away. Emily Watson bats now. She has reached base all 3 times today. She's come to the plate. Walked in the 1st. Singled and scored in the 3rd. Singled in the 4th. So she's 2 for 2. Watson swings and misses. Strike 1. 5-5 tie. Bottom half of the 6th. 1 out. Presidents have the go-ahead run on 2nd. Off-speed pitch misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. An error, giving the Presidents a chance here to take the lead here in the bottom half of the 6th. It's getting late in this contest. 5-5 tie. There is a ball outside. First base is open if she wants to pitch around Watson. Abby Cunningham waits on deck. Nolan brings it. And a pop-up. Could be playable. Back near the screen. Is there room? No. Hits the backstop and bounces away. Bell drifted back to the backstop, but it hit the top part of the screen, and Watson stays alive. Barely. Runner on 2nd, Roper D with 1 out. Watson waits. Here it comes. Beautiful pitch by Nolan. And Watson goes out for window shopping. As the late, great Ernie Harwell would have said, stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched that one go by. Roper D on 2nd now with 2 outs. What a pitch by Nolan to get a dangerous Emily Watson out of there. Abby Cunningham bats now. She's had a good day of the dish. Ball 1. Cunningham is lined to first, sacrificed, and has a 2-run double. So she's 1 for 2 in this game. She's got a chance to put her team into the lead. Smashes one. Foul. Runner on second, Roperty. 2 outs. Thanks to the error, the President's essentially getting an extra out here in the bottom half of the 6th. Nolan trying to get her team back into the dugout. The score tied. Going inside. DePauw 5, Washington and Jefferson 5 here in the bottom half of the 6th inning in this elimination game, and it's a nail-biter. Off-speed pitch, and it's a beauty. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Cunningham. She's the catcher for the Presidents. Nolan has the sign. She deals. High. 5-5 tie here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. DePauw will have the 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up in the top of the 7th. And that just missed inside. Ball 4. So Cunningham draws a walk with 2 outs. That sets up a force at first, second, and third. And brings Rowdle to the plate. Madison Rowdle. Rowdle started as the pitcher in this game, replaced in the circle by McCarty. But McCarty is not batting. Swinging a foul back to the screen, strike 1. Roperty is on second. Abby Cunningham on first. Again, the error giving the Presidents an extra out here in the bottom half of the 6th. Can they take advantage? 5-5 tie, bottom half of the 6th. 1 strike on Rowdle. Nolan deals. There's a ball, 1 strike. DePauw scored 1 in the 3rd, 4 in the 4th. Presidents got 2 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th. Foul ball, and Nolan gets ahead. 1-2. Nolan trying to get her team into the dugout. The score tied. Very tense situation right now here in Angola. That's outside. Fish weren't biting. Wind continues to blow out towards center field. Here comes the 2-2. And ball 3 a little bit high. So it's a full count, 3-2. I think Mr. Doubleday had this in mind a few years ago in this situation. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and here it comes. Swinging a foul tick back into the mitt of catcher Sammy Bell for the final out of the inning, and the President's threat is turned aside. Nolan gets her 2nd strikeout in the inning, and that's her 4th strikeout of the afternoon. No runs, no hits, and 2 left for Washington and Jefferson in the bottom half of the 6th inning. They have now stranded 10 runners in this game. We move to the top of the 7th in Angola in this NCAA Division III women's softball regional game. It's the DePauw Tigers 5, Washington and Jefferson 5. Due up for the Tigers in the top of the 7th. Button, Shimowski, and Landahl. Again, it's the 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up for DePauw. DePauw is the visiting team in this game. They're in the first base dugout. Washington and Jefferson, the home team in the third base dugout. Trine University Thunder awaiting the winner of this game. Aaron Coyle will be along to bring in the play-by-play of that contest later on this afternoon. Well, it's coming up on 3:30 now, so I don't think we're going to start that game at 4 Eastern. That'll probably be delayed a few minutes. We may not be done by 4 Eastern the way it's going right now. This game started at 1:30. Again, women's softball games normally don't go that long. With the pace of the game and the fact that they play 7 innings, usually they're done in an hour and a half, 2 hours. But this one is now approaching the 2-hour mark. There has been a lot of offense in this game. A lot of base runners. DePauw has stranded 7. Washington and Jefferson have left 10 on base. 5 runs on 11 hits for DePauw. 5 runs on 9 hits for the Presidents. As we move to the 7th. Lindsey Button leads it off for the Tigers. She had an RBI single her last time up. She has struck out, hit into a fielder's choice. 1 for 3 in this game for Button. Here we go, folks. 5-5 ties. We move to the top of the 7th. Loser goes home. Winner plays Trine later on today. There's a ball low and inside, ball 1. The winner of the next game will face Muskegon in the regional finals tomorrow starting at noon. There'll be a second game at 2:30 if it's necessary. There's a ball, 2-0 the count. The Muskies of Muskegon right now in the catbird seat. All they need is one victory tomorrow to advance to the Super Regionals. They have a pair of one-run victories so far in this regional tournament. Swing and a miss. And Button may have helped her out there. Looks like she went after a low pitch. Muskegon rallied yesterday to beat DePauw 2-1. And this morning they had to hold on for dear life to defeat Trine 5-4. Trine was 38-3 entering that ball game. There's a foul ball. And the Thunder ranked number 6 in the country in Division III women's softball, but they have been knocked into the losers bracket in this regional tournament that they're hosting. They are the number 1 seed, but they'll have to take the tourist route to get the regional championship now. They did that in their conference tournament in the MIAA. Ground ball on the left side, base hit. Lindsey Button collects hit number 12 for the DePauw Tigers this afternoon. That's her second hit of the afternoon. A leadoff single for Button here in the top of the 7th. And Gabby Smart now re-enters the game. That's good to see. She was out for a while, replaced by Shimowski. She tries to bunt, and it's a strike. Smart struck out in the second inning, her only trip to the plate in this game. Button is on first. Nobody out here in the top of the 7th. Game tied 5-5. McCarty deals. There's a ball. Is that still McCarty? Oh, let's see here. Here's the next pitch. There's a ground ball to the pitcher. They get the out at second. Button is forced at second base. 1-4 in the putout. Smart now on first base with 1 out. Landau now batting with 1 out. Landau is 3 for 3 in this game. And the first pitch is in for a strike, 0-1. Smart, the runner on first base for the Tigers here in the top of the 7th. 1 out, game tied 5-5. There's a bunt, foul. So Gabby Smart now represents the go-ahead run. Emily Watson pitching. There we are. Emily Watson is pitching now for the Presidents. Sophomore from Harmony, Pennsylvania. Well, they announced her. I didn't catch it. Sorry about that, folks. Foul back to the screen. Again, we're out here in left center field, kind of away from the action, if you will. Lindsey Button singled to open the 7th. She was forced at second. Smart, the runner on first with 1 out. Megan Landau, who's had a big day at the plate, up there now, 3 for 3 in this game. Ground ball on the right side. First baseman will make the play unassisted at first. Nice play there by Figueroa to get the out. Smart moves to second. She's in scoring position with 2 outs. 2 outs, runner on second, top of the 7th. Game tied 5-5. Looking ahead to Washington and Jefferson's 7th inning. They'll have the bottom part of the order due up, 7, 8, and 9 hitters. Crumweedy bats now. Lauren singled her last time up. She has walked and scored in this game. That one is fouled out of play, strike 1. She's also hit into a double play, so officially 1 for 2 in this game. The Tigers have 12 hits in this contest. They have left 7 on the bases. 5-5 tie. The pitch. Ooh, that just missed. Watson, the 3rd pitcher in this game for Washington and Jefferson. Coming on here in the 7th inning. That's outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Watson 6-2 this season with a 3.2 ERA. Worked 50 innings, struck out 26, walked 38. Ground ball on the left side. Here's the long throw, and it's not in time, and it gets into the dugout. That's going to get DePauw the lead. Smart will score. Cunningham made a nice stop, but her long throw from deep in the hole was wide of the bag and got into the dugout. That will probably be scored a hit and an error. Bottom line, Smart scores, and DePauw has a 6-5 lead. That'll be hit number 13 for the Tigers. We're going to give Crumweedy a hit on that play. That was a tough play for the shortstop, Cunningham. Her throw was inaccurate. It got into the DePauw dugout, and that allowed Crumweedy to move down to second base. Smart scoring on the plays. So Crumweedy will not get an RBI. Let's not give her an RBI there since the run scored on the error. And here's Henriksen batting now with a runner on second and 2 outs. 6-5, DePauw has the lead. And a big insurance run at second base. Strike 1 on Henriksen. Her 3rd time to the plate in this game. She has scored a run after getting a walk. She reached on an error in the 4th inning and was pitch ran for. Watson deals. That was low. Crumweedy is a big insurance run out there at second base. Big difference being down 2 as being compared to being down 1 if you're Washington and Jefferson. Looking at some of the President's defenders right now, the body language is not good whatsoever. They're going to have to pick themselves up when they come to bat in the bottom half of the 7th. This game is not over. DePauw on top, 6-5 here in the top of the 7th. Trying to make it an all-Indiana matchup later on this afternoon. The Trying Thunder gets the winner of this game. Watson deals. That's outside. Did not get away from the catcher. Crumweedy scampers back to second base. Tigers have the lead for the 2nd time in this game. They led earlier 5-3. Now they're on top 6-5. There's a drive foul on the first base side. Again, that is a big insurance run out there at second base for the Tigers. A single, a fielder's choice, a ground out, and then a infield hit and an error leading to the DePauw run here in the 7th inning. Ball 4. Henriksen draws a walk. Now 2 on for the Tigers and 2 out here in the top of the 7th. And let's see. Sarkisian batted for Wagner earlier, and Wagner is re-entering. Okay, Wagner is batting here in the top of the 7th, and the plate moving on around on Watson here. Wagner. Wagner has a single in this game. Strike called, 1 ball, 1 strike. Crumweedy is on second. Henrikson's on first, 2 outs. 6-5 DePauw, top of the 7th. Throw down the, no, I thought it was going to be a throw down the second. As Crumweedy is trying to get the Presidents off their game a little bit. There's a base hit down the left field line. Crumweedy will have to stop at third. Base is loaded with Tigers and 2 outs, a single for Wagner. Her second hit in this game. And for the Tigers, let's see, 5, 9, 11. They now have 14 hits in this game. And another conference in the circle for Washington and Jefferson. So the Tigers leading 6-5. They got a chance to break this thing wide open here in the top of the 7th. Bases loaded with Tigers again. Top of the order, Sammy Bell due up. And the conference is over. Watson remains the pitcher. We have had conferences in the circle. Conferences out here in the outfield. 6-5 DePauw here in the top of the 7th. 2 outs, bases loaded. Bell the batter. Grounded to first her last time up. And what turned out to be a rather controversial play at first. Initially she was ruled safe. The umpires got together and then called her out. Crumweedy on third. Henrikson on second. Wagner's on first. And that is ball 2. 2-0 on Bell. She's got a chance to break this game wide open. Presidents trying to keep it a 1-run deficit. They'll have the bottom part of the order due up in the last of the 7th inning. Strike call. 2 balls, 1 strike. Wind blowing out towards center field. Picking up a little bit of intensity here as the game has moved along. Here's the 2-1. Ball 3. One more bad one forces in a run. 3 balls, 1 strike. What do you do if you're Sammy Bell? Do you take one here on 3-1 with the bases loaded? 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. And here it comes. Caught the corner for a strike. Good pitch there by Watson. Full count, 3-2 with 2 outs. Presidents have stranded 10. They trail now 6-5. The payoff pitch. Up the middle it goes, a base hit. 1 run is in. Here's another run trying to score. The throw home, not in time. And Sammy Bell comes through with a 2-out single. DePauw stretches their lead. It's now 8-5, favor the Tigers. Bell moved down the second on the throw to the plate. A 2-run single for Bell. Ring it up. Well, the football team didn't get the Monon bell last November, but the softball team's got their own bell at DePauw. And her name is Sammy. And it's Taylor Golden at the dish now for the Tigers. 8-5, favor the Tigers over Washington and Jefferson. Watson deals. Swing and a miss. Golden grounded to short her last time up. She has 2 hits in this game and 2 RBIs. She's 2 for 4 with a run scored. Wagner on third, Bell on second. Foul ball back to the screen. So 3 runs for DePauw here in the top of the 7th. And it'll be at least a 3-run deficit facing Washington and Jefferson in the bottom half of the 7th inning as they'll try and keep their season alive. 8-5, favor DePauw. Ground ball on the right side. That's into the right center field, another hit. And 2 more runs will score. And DePauw opens up a 10-5 lead. 2-run single for Golden. And she has been golden in this game. She now has 4 ribbies. 3 hits and 4 RBIs. That's a pretty good day's work. And the Tigers bat around here in the 7th. Jennifer Ridge will bat now. She's 2 for 4. Golden the runner on first with 2 outs. And it's DePauw leading Washington and Jefferson now 10-5 in the top of the 7th inning. So unless the Presidents come up with a big rally in the bottom half of this frame, we're going to have an Indiana matchup in the next contest trying against DePauw. And that should be rather intense, to say the least. Low for a ball. And the air has just gone out of the balloon here for Washington and Jefferson, thanks to this 5-run 7th inning for the Tigers. A couple of crooked numbers up on the board in this game for the Tigers. They got 4 in the 4th, 5 here in the 7th. That one's fouled back. 4 of the 5 runs coming after there were 2 out. In fact, the error that led to the 6th DePauw run should have been, or might have been, the last out of the inning. Then there's another error by the Presidents, as they're having a difficult time getting that last out. And 10 to the plate this inning for DePauw. Lindsey Budden started this all off with a single. She was erased in a fielder's choice. Landau grounded out for the 2nd out of the inning, and it looked like we're going to be 5-5 going to the bottom half of the frame, but then Weedy hit a ground ball deep in the hole at short. Shortstop Kelsey Cunningham, tried to make a outstanding play, but her throw to first was wild. It skipped into the dugout, and that allowed Gabby Smart to come home with the 6th run of the day for DePauw, and that gave them the lead, and boy, the floodgates have just opened up since that time. 5 runs for the Tigers here in the 7th. They lead 10-5, and they're not done yet. 2 on and 2 out. Popped up, foul out of play, first base side. A nightmarish 7th inning for Washington and Jefferson. The Presidents had a 3-1 lead earlier. They fought back to tie the game at 5. But those 10 runners they have stranded on the bases now look very big. There's another hit down the left field line. That's going to go all the way to the corner. 1 run is in. Here's another run scoring. And that's going to be a double, I do believe, for Lindsey Budden. We'll see how they score it. Oh, they're going to call that an error. All right. So no RBI apparently. And the wheels have really come off the wagon for the Presidents here in the 7th. 7 runs for DePauw, and they now lead 12-5. Lindsey Budden out there at second base. And now the head coach for Washington and Jefferson calling her entire team in for a conference. As she's trying to renew a spark here. And it looks like we got another pitcher. This will be the 4th one today for Washington and Jefferson. Nicole Vitello trying to light a fire under her team here and get this last out. And let's see. Waiting for an announcement here to see who this pitcher is. It looks like it's Rado again. She was the starter. She stayed in the game and hit after she was relieved by McCarty. So Rado is back in the circle for Washington and Jefferson. Gabby Smart bats now for DePauw. This is the 11th batter to the plate this inning for the Tigers. They have scored 7, and they lead 12-5. There's a pop foul out of play, strike 1. Here's the 1-strike pitch. There's a drive to left field, and it's going to drop in for a foul ball. Just foul. So Smart came within an eyelash of getting a double there, at least a double. Tigers erupting for 7 runs here in the 7th. And if they can get the final 3 outs, they'll face Trine in what will be another elimination game in the next contest. There's a foul ball going on a play on the third base side. It's been a very long game by women's softball standards. We started at 1:30 Eastern. It's now 3:48 Eastern. So almost a 2.5-hour game here. Fly ball left center field, and it's going to drop in for another hit. Scoring is Button, and it's a double for Smart. And it's now 13-5 favor DePauw. And what happened, a very tight game, has been blasted wide open by the Tigers with 8 runs here in the 7th. Morgan Landau, the next scheduled hitter, but we're going to get a pinch hitter here for Megan rather. Megan Landau's the next scheduled hitter. And let's see who this batter will be for the Tigers. Shatang is batting. Shatang, sophomore from Beggs, Oklahoma. Amanda Shatang went to Holland Hall High School. So she bats here in the 7th. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Well, I tell you, with all this offense in this game, my score sheet looks like somebody walked on it. That's low for a ball. And the Presidents are desperately looking for that final out now. DePauw has scored 8 here in this frame. All the runs coming after there were 2 outs. Swing and a miss for a strike. Gabby Smart is on second base with 2 outs. And things, after it had been rather tight all afternoon, have gotten rather anticlimactic. There's a pitch low. DePauw erupting for 8 here in the 7th inning. They lead 13-5. Crumweedy is the next scheduled hitter. There's a drive in the right center field and another hit for the Tigers. And another run. That makes it 14-5. Nine runs for DePauw here at the top of the 7th. (14-5) Tigers. Another pinch hitter up here. As Coach Hanrahan is trying to get some playing time for the non-regulars, as this game has turned into a blowout. Haley Freres will bat now. Haley Freres, she's a sophomore from Memphis, Tennessee. Went to St. Agnes Academy there. I think the coach has pretty much emptied the bench here in this game. Well, you can see that box score. Freres gets in the one. Deep left field. That's going all the way to the fence. And they're going to hold up the runner at third here. It's a double for Freres. So a double for Ferris, and as Casey Kasem would say, the hits just keep coming. Second and third for the Tigers with 2 outs. And this has really turned into an absolute nightmare for the Presidents of Washington and Jefferson. Grace Henriksen bats now. She has scored. She scored her last time up, walked and scored. And she gets a hit to center field. Short hop by the center fielder. One more run scoring. And Washington and Jefferson just cannot get that last out. A 10-run eruption for DePauw here in the top of the 7th. A 15-5 lead. And they swing at the first pitch, get another hit and another score. 16-5. Wow, it's gone from a nail biter to a laugher. Here's Sammy Bell batting with runners on first and second and 2 outs. All this happening after there were 2 outs. There's a ball, 1-0 the count. It was a 5-5 tie entering this 7th inning. But the DePauw Tigers have erupted for 11 runs here in the 7th. Rottle trying to get that last out. Well, it just seems like in this situation, the last out in the inning is just so hard to get. The balloon for the Presidents has been totally deflated here. There's a strike. So unless the Presidents come up with a big-time rally in the bottom half of the 7th, it'll be trying against DePauw in the next game. And a fly ball to deep center. This one's well tagged, and it's out of here. A home run for Bell. A 3-run shot to center field for Sammy Bell. That gives her 5 RBIs in this game. And get out the adding machine. 14 runs here in the top of the 7th inning for DePauw. 7, 8, yep, 14 runs. They had to double check the score sheet here. This will be the 17th batter to bat here. Taylor Golden is the next scheduled hitter. And we're going to get a new pitcher for Washington and Jefferson as they try to get this last out. And let's see who is now in the circle for the Presidents. Well, a tough way for them for their season to come to an end. I mean, they had a very successful campaign, winning the Presidents Athletic Conference Championship, but it's just not gone well for them here in Angola, losing yesterday to the host Thunder 7-1. They had a tight game with DePauw through 6 innings, tied 5-5 through 6. But this is known as the wheels falling off here in the 7th, as DePauw has erupted for 14 runs. It's Bethany Shepard, it looks like. Number 12, junior from Cincinnati, went to Northwest High School. Sammy Bell with a home run. That's the first home run in this game, by the way. First home run of the tournament for the Tigers. Bell has 5 RBIs in this game. Here's Golden. Swinging at the first pitch and fouling it back, strike 1. Unbelievable 7th inning here for DePauw. 14 runs. And they lead 19-5. Got to wonder if they're approaching a record here. And there's going to be the final out of the inning. Mercifully, it's over. The Tigers send 17 to the plate that inning and score 14 runs. So we move to the bottom half of the 7th here in Angola. 10 hits in that frame for the Tigers. 14 runs on 10 hits. And the defense kind of fell apart for the Tigers that frame as they committed 3 errors by our count. So it's 19-5, favor DePauw as we move to the bottom half of the 7th inning. They're 3 outs away from a date with their Indiana rivals from Trine University. Trine beat DePauw twice earlier this year, a doubleheader that was played at Fishers High School in Indianapolis. So I would imagine the Tigers be reminded of that in between games. Let's see, we're coming up on 4 o'clock right now. It's going to be at least a half hour before the next game starts because there has to be a 10-minute cool down after this game. Then they got to fix the field. I would say, 4:45 Eastern before we get that next game underway. Aaron Coyle, the voice of the Thunder, will have that for you. So log in again later on this afternoon. Glad to be helping out with the coverage once again this year here at Trine University. Second straight year Trine has hosted a women's softball regional tournament. Again, a different format this year. Last year, it was an 8-team double elimination tournament that stretched out over 5 days. This year, the national tournament going with a super regional round. So the first round of the regionals this weekend condensed 4 teams at many locations. Some regionals only having 3 teams. We have super regionals next weekend. That's best 2 out of 3. And then the national finals. The winners of the super regionals advance to the national finals in Tyler, Texas, and that'll be May 22nd through the 27th. It's getting kind of warm down in Texas right about now, too. All right, Jem Baum leads it off, and there's a shot, and that's a fair ball down the left field line. Baum, and she will have a stand-up double. The ball gets away. She's going for third, and no throw. So that'll be a double and an error. Baum with a aggressive base running play there, down by a sizable margin. So she is on third. Nobody out. Brianna Gleason bats now for the Presidents. That's the first hit for Washington and Jefferson since the 4th inning. Kayla Nolan pitching now with a 14-run lead, and her job is to throw strikes. And that pitch is a ball. Nolan has been the ace of the staff for DePauw this year. Ball 2. She's 3 outs away from her 23rd victory of the season. Her ERA entering this tournament, 2.48. She does have a save to her credit, by the way. Ball 3. Well, it was a long half inning, so Nolan may be just a little bit out of rhythm now after DePauw sent 17 batters to the plate. There's a strike, 3 balls and 1 strike. Sammy Bell has 5 RBIs in this game. She has a home run. Taylor Golden has 4 ribbies. There's a base hit to right center, and Washington and Jefferson will get a run. And heading into second base is Gleason with an RBI double. And that makes the score now 19-6. All right, RBI double for Gleason. Fagora bats now, Morgan Fagora. She's over 3. Runner on second, nobody out here in the bottom half of the 7th. DePauw leading 19-6. There's a pop fly on the left side, grabbed by the third baseman Golden for out number 1. 1 out. Kelsey Cunningham bats now with a runner on second. And the Tigers are 2 outs away from meeting Trine in an elimination game. Winner of that game would face Muskegum in the finals tomorrow starting at noon Eastern. There's a long drive down the left field line, but it's going foul into the parking lot. Cunningham got into one, but she pulled it foul. A 14-run inning for DePauw here in the top of the 7th. There's a drive to center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Center fielder plays it on 1 hop. Throw to second. Now they got a runner breaking from the plate. She'll score. Now we got a pickle in between first and second. And that is going to be an out recorded there. Gleason scores from the play. Cunningham is run down for the second out. She gets an RBI single, though. 2 outs now. Roperty bats now. Courtney Roperty has a 2-run single in this game. 19-7 the score now. There's a fly ball to center. That should do it. And it's caught for the final out of the game by Wagner. And this game is over after nearly 2.5 hours of play. The DePauw Tigers stay alive, and the season comes to an end for Washington and Jefferson. They get 2 runs in the bottom half of the 7th. Your final score, the DePauw Tigers 19, and the Presidents of Washington and Jefferson 7. So we hope you enjoyed the action here in Angola, Indiana this afternoon. Stick around for more of this NCAA Women's Softball Regional Tournament from Trine University. For our producer, director, Trent Lewis, I'm Jim Measles saying, have a good afternoon, everybody.
Hiding.
All right, it's Mr. Coyle next game. Depending on what happens next game, I may be done.
Right.
That was almost 2 games right there.
All right. DVD. Usually get the game on here easily. On one DVD.
Yeah, you gotta go to...
I use 2 tapes and 2 DVDs. Where's my backup? Streaming a lot better today.
I guess the moisture had a problems yesterday.
Yeah, the second part of the Trine game, I couldn't even get on.
Yeah, I noticed that. Last night I logged down. After all that rain we had.
It would be on for like 2 minutes. It would stop like over and over and over.
Did the water get in your equipment or?
I mean, it was fine. Like as long as the raining straight down.
Yeah.
Of course, it pushed right inside here. Then I was drenched.
Somebody forgot to give you a rim.
Required by the NCAA for DePauw.
All nice and
Thank you.
how we do it professionally.
In game number 5.
I know we're getting a short tournament, so I don't think it's going to be $300 this year.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Whatever you think. What do you think?
Whatever.
Okay.
Whatever.
And now we'll present the awards to
Whatever I get, I'll be
the
satisfied.
presidents from Washington and Jefferson for their participation
get
in the
$200 for that last
2014
game.
NCAA Division
I know.
Softball Championship.
Oh, that's
To
right.
present the championship awards are NCAA Division III softball game
Right.
representative Tiffany Osmond
I flipped it
and
outside mine.
tournament director
Okay.
Matt Lamb.
All right,
Thanks, Jim.
I'm out.
Student athletes, please step forward as your name is read to accept your participant medallion. For Washington and Jefferson, number 7, Abby Cunningham. Number 2, Courtney Roperty. Number 33, Emily Watson. Number 22, Morgan. Number 15, Krista McCartney. Number 3, Celeste Wilson. Number 5, Sadie Merrick. Number 12, Bethany Shepard. Number 24, Brianna Gleason. Number 25, Jennifer Baum. And a round of applause for WNJ seniors, number 1, Madison Morano, and number 20, Kelsey Cunningham. We'd also like to recognize the coaches and sports staff from Washington and Jefferson, Nicole Costello, Melissa McDaniel, and Mark Losacco. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And again, congratulations to Washington and Jefferson, the presidents from the President's Athletic Conference. Now let's give all these outstanding student athletes one more final round of applause. Thank you. NCAA mandated 10-minute cool down period